Oh, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today's going to be a shop day. It's actually beautiful outside. It's about 75, 80 degrees, nice and sunny. But we got a bunch of rain yesterday. And, water's sitting on top of the ground out there. So, not really much you can do. We only got, I don't know, 1/10 of an inch or a little more. But when the ground's already saturated 100%, we don't have to pick zucchini today and all that stuff. We picked it yesterday and it slowed way down. Carol even said that they were bad enough in the field we could harrow them up. But it's too wet to harrow. So we still might pick them another time or two, but it's pretty much pooched out there. Anyway, today we're going to do a little bit of research on the back of this thing. I'm getting a rumble that I never got before. And I'm not sure. I was going to attribute it to, these tires are starting to get a little bit of cupping on them. I'm going to rotate them today. Put these on the back and whatnot. Do the oil change. This old girl, that's not real bad for oil, but it's getting there. You can see through it all right. Get it up where you can see. Maybe put something behind it, but it's not real dark. This Jeep doesn't burn any oil at all. It's been 5,000 miles. So, it's within 50 miles of being 5,000 miles. And as you all know, some of it was, pumping right up the interstate, 70 miles an hour. So, anyway, we're going to do a change. And other than that, the air cleaner I just put on less than 500 miles ago. So we're pretty good shape, I think. Just normal stuff. I am going to back the timing off 2 degrees. And I don't know if it's the batch of fuel I got or what, but it's, I'm getting a little pinging. And, I don't like pinging in an engine. That's hard on stuff. So I'm going to back that timing off about 2 degrees. I'll see what it is now, and I'll move it back just a little bit. See if it'll help it a little. Other than that, everything's good. So I'll bring it back here when I'm doing something exciting. And for those new to the channel, I write this right inside of a lot of my vehicles, stuff that you don't normally remember because you don't do it often enough. Just simple stuff. I need a 3/4 inch wrench, 1030, 6 quarts. That's the filter number, that's a Wix. So, anyway, that tells me everything I need to know. And of course over here, this is your actual engine build tag. This originally had the 232. This is the original engine to it. So, anyway, we'll go ahead and get the oil draining and start working on it. So while the oil's draining, we're going to check something real quick here. Put right on the front of that timing cover, make sure it's set and flush. And 4.2. 4.3, 4.2. Kind of wiggle it a little bit, see what comes back. Yeah, 4.3, 4.2. We're going to call it 4.2. Easy to remember. Let's go to the back. I'll tell you, a lot of people make a big deal. They take the drive shafts out. That motor on the front is the same angle right back through. And now let's go look at this rear end right here. We'll set it right on them 2 bolts that are the same thickness. You can't see this, but I can. Well, 3.6, 3.5. 4.2. So we're less than a degree, or about 3/4 of a degree off from being perfect where we want to be. So the way I look at it, when you put load on that, there's a little bit of spring wrap, and that'll come in. It ought to probably walk that half a degree or 3/4 of a degree. So we're basically dead nuts where we need to be. Whatever I have for a vibration, it's not the axle. It's a double cardigan, and it's all in line the way it's supposed to be. I've never had it apart, but it is in line. So I'm going to attribute my vibration that I'm getting. This tire here is smooth as kitty's ear, no cupping at all. This one here is starting to cup, probably the worst one on the vehicle. But the way the tires have been rotated, that one came off the spare, so that one don't have as many miles. The spare don't have many miles on it. Anyway, we got to rotate these babies today. This one here has got some wear on it, starting, not a lot. You know, there's a flat spot there, flat spot there. It kind of, you know, every other one of them is a little low. This one here is the worst one on the vehicle probably, you know, but it's not real bad. So we're going to do a rotation. Not worry about that vibration. You know, it could just be the pinion, ringing pinion the way it's, you know. Of course, sometimes you just think things have all of a sudden developed and they've been there all along, you know, who knows. The engine's running way quieter than it used to be, it's running smoother. So it may just be, now I can hear a vibration that I never heard before. So I'm not going to worry about it. Like I say, I'm within half a degree. 0.7 of a degree. Not going to worry about that. So, front of your engine is at the same angle as the pinion. You know, there's nothing bent in there. Never is. So if you want to check stuff, you know, if you've got 2 bolts that you can get to on the back with nothing interfering, that's going to be the same angle as the pinion. And of course the front timing cover on your engine is the same angle as the back. So you don't have to do a lot of frigging around, taking your drive shaft out like a lot of guys show. But within a half a degree, I'm going to call it a win. Anyway, I'm going to, the oil's all drained. I'm going to put the plug back in, get up in, do that oil filter. Something a lot of people do wrong, and I'm a firm believer in this. I don't know what everybody's opinion. Well, I know some people's opinion. They always talk about a dry start. They fill up. Of course, this one here is hard to fill because it's not inverted. But a lot of people fill oil filters. Never, ever should you fill an oil filter. That's unfiltered oil. Don't care how careful you are. If you have something that goes through, you know, your funnel or just dust on top, 5-gallon pails. I've opened up 5-gallon pails of brand new oil, dumped it all out, you know, until there was only a pint left in it, and set it down and looked in the bottom, and it's gray on the bottom from sediment. You know, and a lot of that sediment is grinding from where they actually weld on pipes in the plants, you know, and stuff. Everybody thinks that when you get oil, it's perfect. Well, it's not perfect. It's clean enough. Stuff's usually settled out. Usually you don't get it all. But I'm a firm believer in do not fill an oil filter. And I do not fill fuel filters either. You know, put them on dry. Do the program like you're supposed to. You know, you bleed them through, pump them by manually. That's unfiltered fuel you got a chance of putting into your injectors. It's bad. You're defeating your whole purpose of having a filter. The only thing you should put on that filter is a little bit of oil around the rubber O-ring. I'm a firm believer in that. So anyway, I'm going to get back to work. You can see I've wiped some oil on that. Sneak it down here behind the fuel line. I'll see if I can start that one-handed. Oh, I think I'm going to do it. Look at that. That's tight enough right there. That'll be real hard to get off when you go to get it off. Don't use a tool to put them on. So anyway, yeah, I just use that type. They got all kinds of different types. They got pliers, they got those. But didn't lose a whole lot. Still pretty full of oil. So anyway, take 6 quarts with a filter change. A lot of the old books, they say to change the oil every so many miles and change the filter, you know, twice that. it doesn't really hurt. You take any filter apart after the recommended oil change and it won't have nothing in it. You know, it's 99% still open. There's no reason why you can't run them. If money was an object and you've been a lot of miles, and you really had to change it, but you didn't have enough to buy a filter, just change the oil. You're way ahead. Changing the oil gets the acidity and all the pHs back where they need to be. The filter's going to have a little bit of bad oil in it. That's the only bad part. If you really wanted to do a right job, take the filter off and just let it drain for 2-3 minutes, put it back on. That gets rid of 90% of your oil, 95% probably. And then you can go ahead, put your fresh oil in, you'll be good to go. But nowadays, oil filters aren't much money. So if you can afford to change them, I change them every time. But you don't have to. But that's just my opinion too, you know. Don't go doing that on a car under warranty and then blame me. So anyway, yeah, time to put oil in it. Now, the worst oils that they have today are way better than what they had years ago. I always like to make sure I clean that off good. Yeah, so you're not getting any contamination in there. And I'm just running regular, it's a Fram, inexpensive oil. They may be able to test it and say, you know, there's other ones that are better, but this is good enough. You know? It's the same thing was in it before, and you see how good it lasted up to 5,000 miles. It looked pretty good. So anyway, I'm going to dump in 5 more of these and I'll bring you back. Okay, we got all the oil in it. The old timers always said you can run an engine that's been run without oil for 30 seconds. If it doesn't pick up oil within 30 seconds, you got to do something. So we're going to just start this real time. You can watch the oil pressure gauge. Now this has to fill the oil filter. It'll show you how quick and how much oil the oil pump fills, or pumps. Ooh, she should start right up. I didn't actually count, see how long it was, but it weren't any more than 5 or 6 seconds. And 100% of your oil that's in the engine now is still filtered. So that's my thoughts on changing oil. You know, everybody's got their own opinion on oil. And fact is, people get headstrong on, you know, there's only one type of oil. If that was the case, they'd be millions of vehicles sitting on the side of the road with blown engines. You know, all your oil today, it's decent. I'm not saying that there isn't some oils that are better, but it's one of those things that, you know, it's like if a knife's sharp enough to cut a turkey, you know, do you really need a razor blade or a straight edge, you know, or a straight razor? You know what I'm saying? There's good enough. And I run the inexpensive stuff. It's good enough, you know, for an old girl like this. The only thing I am going to probably put in this maybe is I got an additive in there for flat top lifters. And I do it about every 3rd or 4th oil change. I put it in, and it's supposed to help because, well, they took the, what was it, zinc out of the oil, I think, for emissions. They took something out, and people have trouble with lifters and stuff. So I'm going to put some of that in. And I may be out. If I still have it, I'll show you what it is. If not, I'll get some and show you what it is later. Yeah, so I did have a new bottle in there. I'm not advocating for these people at all, but I do think it helps. And I'm not going to put in the whole bottle. I'm only going to put in about half of it because I don't want the engine to be that over full on oil. A little bit more. I was going to use the whole bottle, which they say you can put a whole bottle of 4.5 quarts, which I've got my full 6 in there, so I'm not going to put the whole bottle in because I'll have too much oil. But this stuff is high zinc content. And anyway, flat tappet lifters, no catalytic converter. Can't do no harm, right? So anyway, we'll put that back on the shelf. Hey, I get that put away. I get that over at Cornish Auto Parts over there. They carry it in stock usually. So anyway, I'm going to actually grease this old girl good. I'm going to do that off camera, just grease fittings. But then I'm going to get out my timing light, and we're going to back this down just a couple degrees, see if we can't get this thing to stop pinging a little bit. Only pings going up, you know, when you're putting pretty good load onto it, but I just soon have it not pinging all the time. So anyway, I'll bring you back when we're doing the timing. Well, everybody, we got the old girl running. Me and Carol just getting home here. We've been driving for about an hour, hour and a half. We're just cruising along nice and easy. Out on the back road. We're only about, probably 5 miles from the house as the crow flies. But we've got little Miss Moxie here sitting in Carol's lap. Diesel's back there taking a nap. Anyway, we're just coming in the back way. I don't have much battery left, but the pinion is gone and the noise is less. So it was the tires. I guess it is on the tires. The tread there is getting worn, so it's starting to make a little noise, but that's all right. It's just a nice little place out here in the backside of the town. We're actually in Denmark right now, which is the next town away. So if the camera stops recording here, thanks for watching. Don't hesitate to hit the like button and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. But we'll film here for a minute. It's kind of a crooked backwoods road. Camp Walden. There's probably a couple hundred camps in the state of Maine. Boys, girls, camps, a little of everything. Kind of a flat road, nothing really good to look at on it except trees. So anyway, hope everybody enjoyed.